Now, today I've had the discomfort of a sore arm because I've had my booster jab for COVID. Now, I'm going to explain to you today why I think you should have your booster injection as soon as you can practically get it. Okay, let me explain. When I was a student, a medical student for that matter, a lot of people used to say to me, "Why should I vaccinate my children and my family against these diseases when you don't see the disease?" The argument to that is very simple. It's because we vaccinate, you don't see the disease. It's that simple. And heaven forbid, if you were to get the disease, no doctor is going to know what to do because they've never seen it. Let me give you two examples of this. Diphtheria has now been practically eliminated from the UK through vaccination. The one person who in my city who's seen a case of diphtheria unfortunately died 7 years ago. No other doctor in my city has actually seen a case. So deduce from that what you will. If you were to get the disease, no doctor's going to know what to do. We have a very effective vaccination program against the human papillomavirus, the virus that we believe causes cancer of the cervix. Now, in time, it's going to lead to an eradication of this terrible disease. I've actually had the misfortune of seeing stage 4 cancer of the cervix where those ladies were at death's door, quite literally. Now, if you think about it, this is going to be eradicated in the next few years, which is great. But if you were to actually get cancer of the cervix, those future doctors aren't going to know what to do because they've never seen it. They'll have to look into the archive books. It's that simple. So it's not something you actually want to avoid, getting vaccinated. Please do get yourself vaccinated. Now, all forms of medical treatment have some degree of risk. Now, in medicine, we always have to weigh up the benefits and the risks. In the case of vaccination, the benefits far, far, far outweigh the risks, always. Now, a lot of people just say, well, there are side effects, not whatever. Let me explain. Every form of medical intervention has some degree of risk. There's always going to be some degree of side effects, and it may not work in everyone. No form of medical intervention is 100% effective. No form of medical intervention is 100% risk-free. No form of medical intervention is 100% without side effects. You find some kind of medical treatment that's free from risk, free from side effects, and is completely effective. And by this time next week, you'll be a trillionaire several times over. I promise you that. It's not going to. We always have to weigh up the risks and the benefits of vaccination always outweigh the risks. Now, how to put this? If I were you, I'd go online, go to the NHS website and book yourself for a vaccination as soon as you can get it. Consider this. This is the antigen against the coronavirus, and this is the antibody in the vaccine. Okay, it comes to come together, and basically that antigen becomes null and void. Let's say this is the Omicron variant. Okay, it's going to give you some degree of protection. Okay, so it will become a lot more ineffective. So it will give you some more protection. Let me give you another example of this. I want you to consider this scenario. Look at your front door. Now just imagine you've got a mortise lock on it, and then you decide to put some bolts on it. Let's say a burglar comes along and has got the key to your front door, and you've bolted the door as well. They could open that door with the key. But if you put some extra bolts on it, it's going to be a lot harder for them to get through. Virtually impossible. And that's the thing. That's the advantage of a booster. A booster is like putting an extra lock on your door. So please, please, please do get yourself vaccinated. There are some people out there who say that they're not going to get their children vaccinated. If you've got a medical contraindication, fine. But if you haven't, get yourself vaccinated. Get yourself the booster. You might want to know that the majority of those people who are in hospital with COVID, especially those in intensive care, have not been vaccinated. What does that tell you? The majority of people who get COVID will fight it off without any problem. But there are some people out there who have an underlying medical condition who don't realize, and they might be affected. Out there are millions of people who are not aware they have high blood pressure. There are millions of people out there who are not aware they have diabetes or high cholesterol or gluten intolerance or peptic ulcer or something like that. They've learned to live with it. Let me just give you an example of this. A couple of years ago, I had my eyes tested. And I actually said to the optician, "You're not going to find anything. My eyes are in good nick, apart from the fact I wear glasses." And he said, "No, I can tell from the way you walked in, you've got a slight squint." I said, "You what?" He said, "You've got a very slight squint, but you've learned to live with it, so it's not worth treating." And I was quite sustained. I said, "Well, show me the evidence." And obviously, being a doctor, he showed me. And I said, "Oh, right." He said, "Yes, you've got a slight squint, but you've learned to live with it. So fine, not a problem." And there will be many of you out there who have an underlying medical condition. You may not realize that you've got it, but you've adapted your lifestyle to accommodate what you've got. Some of those underlying medical conditions which you don't realize you've got may put you at higher risk of COVID or other infections or other illnesses for that matter. So I cannot emphasize how strongly enough it's important you get yourself vaccinated. Do it now. Maybe not for yourself, but do it for your family. The more we can get people vaccinated, the better for everyone. Thank you very much for your time. I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.